Christie sides. Why are you dropping?
Imagine this. You're NaLyssa Smith, ready to hit the court. Then, boom, your coach tells the world you're out because of a team matter. How would you feel? That's exactly what went down with Christie Sides and the Indiana Fever. But here's the real question. Did Sides mess up big time?
But she refused. She's thrown NaLyssa Smith under the bus. Now everyone's gonna wonder, what did NaLyssa Smith do?
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this. It's just an hour before the game, and Sides drops this bombshell about Smith. Everyone's shocked, fans are confused, and you know what's crazier? Sides won't even explain why. She just says the reason for the change was a team matter, and I'm just not going to discuss team business. Talk about vague, right?
The reason for the change the other night against Washington was a team matter.
Now everyone's talking. What happened? Is Smith okay? Did she break a rule? Nobody knows, and that's making things worse. You've got to wonder, is this how a coach should handle things? Is Sides really leading the team or just stirring up drama? We're about to dive into all that and more. Trust me, you won't believe what happens next. The drama didn't stop there. Fans and players erupted with reactions that shook the WNBA world. What if your teammates turned their backs on you after your coach threw you under the bus? That's exactly what some feared would happen to NaLyssa Smith. As soon as Christie Sides dropped that bombshell about Smith, social media exploded. Fans were furious, players were shocked, and everyone had an opinion. One comment really summed it up. How can players have Sides back when she doesn't have theirs? Ouch, that's a serious trust issue right there. But it wasn't just about Smith. This whole mess exposed some big problems with the Indiana Fever. Think about it. If a coach can just bench a star player without explanation, what does that say about the team's leadership? It's like watching a house of cards start to wobble. And let's talk about the fans for a second. They were not happy. Some were calling for Sides to be fired, saying she was embarrassing the team. Can you imagine being a player and hearing that? It's like your own family turning against you. Now compare this to how other coaches handle things. Take Teresa Witherspoon, for example. She's known for building strong relationships with her players. You don't see her throwing anyone under the bus. It's all about trust and respect. Sides? Well, let's just say she might want to take some notes. This whole situation got people talking about more than just one game or one player. It's making everyone look at how the Indiana Fever is run. Are there bigger problems behind the scenes? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? And here's something crazy to think about. What if you're a top player thinking about joining the Fever? After seeing this, would you want to play for a coach who might publicly bench you without explanation? It's not exactly a great recruitment strategy. The fallout from this isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about team morale, trust between players and coaches, and the whole image of the franchise. One bad decision by a coach, and suddenly the whole team is under a microscope. But here's the thing, maybe this drama is exactly what the WNBA needed. It's got everyone talking about how coaches should treat players, how teams should communicate, and what it means to be a leader in women's basketball. Sometimes it takes a controversy to spark real change. So what's next for the Indiana Fever? Will Sides apologize? Will Smith speak out? And most importantly, how will this affect the team on the court? Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Winning games and playing great basketball. While everyone's focused on the Fever's drama, something bigger is brewing. This isn't just about one team anymore. It's about the future of women's basketball. Are we witnessing the start of a coaching culture overhaul? Think about it, Christie Sides' actions didn't just affect NaLyssa Smith and the Indiana Fever. This whole mess could change how the entire WNBA operates. It's like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples are spreading far and wide. Let's talk about player recruitment. Imagine you're a top college player like Caitlin Clark or Satu Sabali. You're looking at WNBA teams, dreaming of your pro career. Then you see this drama with the Fever. Would you want to play for a team where the coach might throw you under the bus? Probably not. This could seriously hurt the Fever's chances of landing star players in the future. But it's not just about the Fever. Every other team in the league is watching this unfold. They're taking notes, thinking, how can we avoid making the same mistake? It's like a wake-up call for coaches everywhere. They're realizing that the old school, my way or the highway approach just doesn't cut it anymore. This whole situation is shining a spotlight on something super important: communication and respect between coaches and players. It's not just about X's and O's anymore. Coaches need need to be leaders, mentors, and maybe even friends sometimes. They need to build trust, not break it. You know what's crazy? This drama might actually be good for the WNBA in the long run. It's forcing everyone to take a hard look at how things are done. Maybe we'll see new guidelines for coaches, or better ways to handle team issues. It could be the start of a whole new era in women's basketball. Think about other sports where coach-player relationships have changed. Look at the NBA, where players have more say in team decisions. Or soccer, where managers are expected to be great communicators. The WNBA could be heading in that direction too. Here's something to chew on. What if this incident becomes a turning point for coaching standards in the WNBA? Imagine a league where open communication is the norm, where players feel valued and respected, and where coaches lead by example. That's the kind of league that could attract even more talent and fans. But let's be real, change isn't easy. Some old school coaches might resist. They might say, this is how we've always done things. But the smart ones, they'll adapt. They'll learn from this Fever fiasco and become better leaders. And it's not just about the coaches. Players might start expecting more from their teams. They might speak up more, demand better treatment. It could lead to a more player-friendly league overall. This whole situation is like a test for the WNBA. How they handle it could set the tone for years to come. Will they sweep it under the rug, or will they use it as a chance to make real positive changes? Hold up, everyone's talking about how this drama could break the Fever, but what if it's the key to fixing them? Think about it. Sometimes you need to hit rock bottom before you can climb to the top. Is this the Fever's rock bottom moment? Here's the thing, this whole mess with Christie Sides and NaLyssa Smith could be a blessing in disguise. I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. What if this drama is exactly what the Fever needed to shake things up and get better? Let's talk about rebuilding trust. Right now, it's pretty much shattered, but imagine if Sides steps up, owns her mistake, and says, I messed up. I'm sorry. That's powerful stuff. It shows players and fans that she's human, that she can learn and grow, and you know what? That could make the team stronger. But it can't stop there. The Fever needs to take a hard look at how they're doing things. Maybe it's time for some new blood in management or a fresh approach to coaching. They could bring in experts on team building, communication, all that good stuff. It's like giving the whole franchise a makeover. Now, let's talk about what good leadership looks like in pro basketball. It's not just about calling plays and running drills. It's about building relationships, understanding your players, and creating a culture where everyone feels valued. Imagine if Sides took this as a wake-up call and started focusing on those things. She could go from the coach who threw a player under the bus to the coach who turned everything around. And it's not just about Sides. The whole team could use this as a chance to come together. Maybe they start having regular team meetings where everyone can speak their mind. Or they could do team building activities off the court. The point is, they need to rebuild that trust and team spirit. Here's a crazy thought. What if the Fever became known as the team that does things differently? They could be the ones who set a new standard for how coaches and players work together in the WNBA. Imagine if other teams started copying their approach. That would be huge. But let's be real, it's not going to be easy. Change is hard, especially when you're in the spotlight like this. The Fever are going to have to work their butts off to make things right. But if they do, man, it could be amazing. Picture this. A year from now, the Fever are crushing it on the court. Players are happy, fans are excited, and everyone's talking about their incredible turnaround. And it all started with this drama. That would be one heck of a comeback story, right? Now, I'm not saying it's definitely gonna happen, but it could. And that's what makes this whole situation so interesting. We're watching a team at a crossroads. They can either let this drama tear them apart, or they can use it as fuel to become something great. Alright, let's wrap this up. Christie Sides threw NaLyssa Smith under the bus, and it blew up in her face. The Fever's drama isn't just about one game or one player, it's shaking up the whole WNBA. But here's the thing, maybe this mess is exactly what women's basketball needed. It's not just about sports. This is about respect, communication, and leadership. Sides messed up big time, but now everyone's talking about how coaches should treat players. It's like a wake-up call for the whole league. Think about it. How would you handle a situation like this in your own life? If your boss called you out publicly without explanation, what would you do? It's not easy, right? That's why this Fever drama is more than just a game. It's a lesson for all of us.